say thank you.
We're dying, we're dying, we're dying, we're dying. We're dying, we're dying, we're dying. Just in case you get famous. But we are back. We are back with another episode of Good Morning. We are dying.
Episode 10. We made it to double digits.
Yep. We're 10 years old now. That's how that works. One episode is 1 year.
Hey, most of you already know me, but I am Sam Rager, and I am here. I get to be here in the abode of.
I'm Alex. I hate doing intros. It's always like really weird, and Sam really wants us to do intros. So I try to like be weird about it, but I won't be weird about it. I'm Alex Bozanovic. I am here with another episode with Sam.
I have been memorizing the layout of your house every time I come.
It's like what's the LiDAR camera? Like it's your brain with the outline, like the outline of my house. You're just like getting the 3D model of my home.
Locked in.
Yeah.
If the world goes to Hades. I know.
So I don't know. It's been a week. It's been a week since we last recorded. What is going on in your world? What's been jabbing at your side this week?
I've just been hyper focused on the potential of a government shutdown.
Have you really been following that?
Yeah. Because the group I work with would be affected by it.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah.
And so all of us are pretty much like
Yeah.
hyper focused on it. And we are intrigued with how next year is going to go, because with the new administration, we might not have jobs next year.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. I don't think anybody can really predict what's going to happen. But I think it's going, I say it and it's almost hack at this point, but I think it's going to go like bad, but I don't think it's going to go bad in the way that people think it's going to go bad. Like, I think people are like expecting like revolution in the streets and, Proud Boys everywhere. And I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to go bad in the sense of like things are like just normal things are just going to not work anymore. And it's going to get so bad that like they just can't have it, and I think like something will have to happen to like rectify that. So like, yeah, what is it that's going to go bad? I have no idea, because there's just like so many things that it could possibly be. Maybe we just don't have like running water anymore or like, just something. It's going to be like something that's just like very basic that people just take for granted. I think it's going to be like one thing like that, or maybe several small things like that. And it's just going to get to a point where like they're going to just not be able to have it. And like people are going to have to intervene.
Mm-hmm. I hope so. I hope it gets to the point of intervention instead of just a spiral down.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they're going to get away with a lot. Like, I think they will get away with a lot, but I think they're, cause like, I mean, he kind of got lucky that like the 4 years were up, because like, I think COVID was just the start of everything going like really bad for him. And this time he's going to hit the like ground running. And I just think it's going to get to that level of like not functioning, especially with like Elon Musk, because that guy is like a moron. But like, especially with him like being the actual president, I just think like things are just going to not work on a very fundamental level, and they're just like the ruling class is just going to not be able to have it because they need these like small little comforts so that we stay distracted. And if we lose those little comforts, Luigi Mangione happens. And they can't have that.
Yeah, like the areas that Elon like wants to cut because he thinks that they're frivolous, like includes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I think I don't even think it's gonna have to get to the point of like war in the streets. Like I don't think it's gonna get to that. I think literally it's going to be like, you know, electricity doesn't work anymore. and like somebody's gonna have to like step in and be like, listen, you gotta go.
Yeah. How long do you think it'll take?
I don't know. I think we start to hear grumblings 6 months to a year in. I think it's gonna be that far before there's like people start questioning like, we can't just let him keep going, right?
I was working for I was doing this one conference, and we had this event in Utah, and I was talking with the local people and asked, "Oh, do you get a lot of preppers here?" And they joked. They said, "Yeah, there was actually a prepper conference last week," and mind blown. I am so jealous about it.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, it's gonna be in Utah, you know.
And then a woman who was attending there, she's like, "Oh, me and my husband prep. We have a bunch of MREs and bullets," and all of us laughed because we thought she was joking. And she said, "No." And you know who you have to kill first? Your neighbors, because they know you have it. And I am panicking on the inside because we're also now on that list of people who know that she has things.
Oh boy. I mean, those are the people that are going to die first, I think. Mm-hmm. Because like they're just going to be way too aggressive right out the gate. Like they may take a few people right out at the beginning, but like people are going to be like, "Oh no, these people are crazy. We got to take them out." Cuz like I'm going to tell you right now, like if stuff really does pop off like that, there's no like second get. Like if my first impression of you is you're a problem, gone. Until we figure out what's going on, if you threaten me even in the most minor way, gone. Like that's it. I can't afford to question in that scenario. Like if you are a threat to me in any way, done. You're gone. Like I'm not even gonna question. Like there's not even gonna be any like trying to reason with you. You're just gone because I don't have time to reason right now. I'm trying to survive.
Yeah, like part of me has been debating: should we stay where we are? Should we head north?
I think north is gonna be even worse. That's where everybody is with that mentality. Is out in the country.
Mm-hmm. I in our group chat at work, because we had to have a special meeting, a Teams meeting about, you know, potential stuff about to happen. Mm-hmm. And one of the managers, like off the record, is like, "Yeah, I think they're trying to burn the government down." And
they 100% are trying to burn the government down. Like that's exactly what they're trying to do.
And I put in the Teams chat, "Does anyone know where we can get gift cards for Joe's Army Navy?" And nobody laughed. Everyone everyone looked very uncomfortable.
Well, so like I don't know about Joe's Army Navy, but like Navy surplus stores in general, like they're not going to be helpful because they're going to be on the side of the people like trying to overthrow things. Like, I don't know if you know Gabby Watts from Atlanta.
I don't know her personally. I know of her.
She was in Motor City Comedy Festival this past summer, and she went to like an Army Navy supply shop, and like they had racks of things that were on sale for $14.44, and then like a lot of the empty racks that they had were like in the shape of like swastikas.
What?
So I don't know that like Army Navy supply stores are where you're going to want to go.
Why would they be on that side?
But why wouldn't they? I mean, that's where preppers go to get their stuff, you know?
Are you prepared?
No, I am not prepared in the least.
Okay. I like, part of me is like, ha ha ha, but I legit maybe want to have something so we can hunker down and not have to leave the house.
Yeah, no, if shit does actually go down, like we're screwed. We have nothing. We are not prepared for that at all.
You don't have a go bag?
I have nothing, no. I have dogs. I have useless dogs that like bark, but then like when you come up to pet them, they just like melt.
I need to make a go bag, you know.
I mean, I probably should have a go bag, but I do not have a go bag.
But yeah, I mean, then again, will we remember our go bag when it's time to go? Like if things are on fire and
yeah, I don't know. I mean, for the last year, I've like wrestled with in my head, like taking gun classes.
Same.
Because I don't know how to use a gun.
Neither do I, for like good reason. I'm nervous that I would turn it on myself.
If I was gonna kill myself, that would be the last. That would be my last choice. I would not want to use a gun to kill myself. If I was going to kill myself, it would have to be the most comfortable way possible. Like, I'm not going to put myself in pain. My life is pain. I want to go out happy.
The 9 times that I've tried has all been comfortable ways that would be comfortable.
Yeah. No, I would like maybe like do the garage door closed with the car running. You know, cut the gas in my oven, stick my head in there. Like, it would be something that like I would just go into a slow, soft sleep. I'm not gonna blow my brains out. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean that would be my like last resort. I would have to be like in a ton of physical pain, I think, as well as mental pain.
Yeah, no, that is definitely like my last. Like, I'm just at my wit's end, and I just need to do this. That would definitely be the choice at that point if everything else failed or if everything else wasn't available.
Yeah. I would put hanging before that. Like, I have thought about like, oh well, I would have to go in the garage because the ceilings are tall enough, and the electrical, like I could potentially use extension cords and all that. And I get like in these really dark places, and I describe it to Santiago, and Santiago is so used to me having jokes about taking my own life that he starts trying to like tag. Legit cries for help.
Well, no, did you try it like this? How about some other angles? We can maybe think of some other angles. That's so funny. He comes home, you take like a bottle, you just like swallow a bunch, like a bottle of Tylenol. He's like, "Come on, Sam, that's so hack. You're better than that."
This no better be hilarious.
Oh, that was very dark. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they always. I don't know. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. If it goes very bad, I think it's gonna go very bad very fast. But also, there were like huge threats that things were gonna get really bad really fast last time, and it was like, for the most part, pretty normal. I mean, there were like obviously certain things that were like crazy, but like for the most part, things kind of just went how they would have gone with like any Republican president, you know? I mean, the lack of staff was weird. Like the fact that he didn't fill any positions was weird. You know, obviously COVID was a little weird. So yeah, I mean, there were like weird things. And then like on day one, he just drops like the biggest bomb that we have that's not a nuke, like in like a empty field in Afghanistan. Like, did you see that?
No.
You don't remember that? He dropped like the mother of all bombs on like what was suspected to be Al-Qaeda territory.
No.
Yeah, that was like day 2, I think, or something like that. He dropped like the mother of all bombs in like Afghanistan, I think. Or like I think it was Afghanistan. I might be wrong on like the location, but I know it was like Afghanistan or like, you know, one of those kind of like Eastern, Middle East kind of countries.
That is, I did not know about that.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, it was like on all the. It was like on CNN and MSNBC, and even like Fox was like reporting on it. I mean,
maybe I blocked
Fox.
it out.
I mean, Fox was like, "Look, this fucking rules," and the other, and like CNN and MSNBC were like, "This is just a tragedy. This is a disgrace."
It's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't know.
That makes me more scared.
I don't know. It's like, I just feel like there's just a level of incompetence that, like, okay, so when politicians do things that don't make any sense to us, we call them idiots, but they're not idiots. They know exactly what they're doing. They're doing what's best for them, not us. So like, they're not idiots. Actually, they're actually very smart because they do it in a way that we get mad, but we ultimately accept it, and then their lives get better. So they're actually pretty smart. But I have to think that there's a level of incompetence that they just cannot allow. And so then they will spring into action, because I don't think these people are incompetent. I don't think they're incapable. I think they just don't care. So when it comes to a certain level of incompetence that's going to like truly take their masks off, I think they're going to intervene and be like, we cannot go that far. You know what I mean? And so like, if they try to go that far, which I can totally see Elon Musk doing, I think they will step in and flex their muscle. Because like I said, I don't think they're stupid. I don't think they're incompetent. I think they just know what's good for them, and they don't care that what's good for them is totally not good for us. And they can do it in a way that like we will bellyache about it, but we will ultimately just not do anything about it and just allow it to happen. So they're very smart. They are very smart. And to think that they're not is, you know, setting yourself up to continue to like lose to these people.
Yeah. I hope there's some good candidates in 2 years.
I mean, there'll be good candidates by comparison. There won't be any good candidates, though. I mean, there will be, but they won't be like in the Democratic or Republican Party, and they'll just get drowned out.
It's so bleak, but true.
Yeah.
And then we had our holiday party at work.
Well, that's nice. Tell me about that. Did you guys have peanut brittle?
Some people made some, yeah. Homemade.
That sounds delicious.
Gingerbread. They were screaming.
You know what's crazy? I read that, like, you know how when you like fry mushrooms, they make like noise?
Yeah.
Like, I heard that that's like literally a mushroom screaming.
Oh. I feel so guilty now.
And I also, another thing that I read was like, the reason you cry when you cut an onion is because like that's the onion's last chance at like protecting itself. That's like its last line of defense.
Oh my god! I'm gonna look all this stuff up. This is depressing. Did you ever play with magnifying glasses as a kid?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, not a lot.
My sister and I used to burn
Ants.
Yeah, ants and beetles. And then once we got a beetle like this big, and we heard screaming, and at that point we're like, we shouldn't do this. That's when we stopped. We should. The morality seemed okay with the ants, but not. Then we felt like monsters. It sunk in at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's funny as a kid, you don't like think about that stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I remember when I was like as a kid, my cousin, he like moved into like one of those like new subdivisions, you know, that they build like way away from like any city because like it's safe out there. And there was like a tiny little lake in the middle of the subdivision, and that's like kind of where the subdivision started, like where all the first houses were built, were like around the little lake. And so like he didn't live on the lake, he lived like further in the sub because they moved in like a little bit later. But one of his friends lived on the lake, and so I remember like we caught like a little perch one time out of the lake, and it was like right around 4th of July. And so we're like, yeah, let's put a firecracker in its mouth. And so like we did that, and like I couldn't live with myself for like months after that.
Yeah, it's like weird stuff that's like in the moment. You get like,
because you're not thinking it's like, oh, it's just a fish. But then like once that fish is like blown into like 18 pieces, you're like, oh wow, that we shouldn't have done that. like this isn't a toy. This is like a thing.
Yeah, it's wild. It's just like when it hits you.
Yeah.
How do you still think about that?
I just talked about it.
I mean, like before you go to bed at night.
I mean, every now and then it comes into my brain.
How do you feel?
Not great about it.
There are things that I remember too.
like the cats.
Not cats, but the animal count I couldn't tell you about earlier. An earlier episode.
On the earlier episode, we established that Sam is the John Wayne Gacy of animals. She dresses up like a clown.
No cats or dogs, okay?
Only the annoying animals.
Yeah, I have a lot of regrets from my youth. It's gonna stay between me and the Lord. Nobody needs to know. But,
I was doing a little reading this week, and do you remember Koko the gorilla?
Yeah.
So I found out that Koko the gorilla had a nipple fetish.
How did they find that out?
Whenever people would come to meet with Koko, Koko would always try to grab their nipples.
Like full grab or just
like full boob, but it was really the nipple that that Koko was trying to get to. Like, which is wild. That's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't get to do all of the reading that I wanted to do because there are actually pending court cases about this.
What?
Where again, I didn't read about the court cases, but like I think the sanctuary that was like holding Koko I think is being sued because of Koko's nipple fetish. Because like they weren't warning people about it ahead of time. So then like they would go in with this like giant gorilla and then the gorilla would start molesting them.
What? Was it like a sexy thing or like I was taken away from my mom at too young of an age thing?
I mean, I would think that the taken away from my mom at too young of an age would probably develop some weird sexual things. So I would think that it's maybe like a combination of the two, you know? I think it's like a chicken or the egg type of situation. You know?
Oh.
And if people don't know Koko was a gorilla that could do sign language. And so Koko could like sign to you that she thought you had nice tits. So it wasn't like a thing of like trying to figure out like what is the intention here. Like Koko would literally tell you what the intention was.
What's the sign for boobs?
I have no idea. I do not know sign language. Although a friend of the show, Alan Stakowitz, did tell me how to say "Hey, nice rack" in ASL, but I haven't like practiced it yet, so I have no idea what the movements are.
I have friends who taught their babies sign language, and when they were asking to be breastfed, they would do.
So that has to be boob then. Can you imagine like a 500-pound gorilla just coming at you like that? And also the other crazy thing, like Koko is a female, so like Koko is like a lesbian. You know, like you got a 500-pound gorilla lesbian coming for your boobs. Like what world are we living in right now?
Was it gentle or was it soft?
I have no idea. I would imagine because it's a gorilla, it was not gentle. I would imagine in Koko's head she was being gentle, but like in human sensation, it probably was not very gentle.
Oh, how long did she do it for?
I would imagine a very long time because we only heard about this after Koko died. I mean, the lawsuits have been out there forever, but like this is only becoming like general like knowledge since Koko has passed away.
Do you think Koko's gonna get canceled?
I think Koko is already being canceled, but it kind of doesn't matter because I believe Koko died. I might be wrong. I didn't look that up, but I think Koko's dead. Yeah.
That's wild that how many people were Me Too'd by Koko.
Listen, you thought Louis C.K. was bad.
Yeah, I mean, at a place that's supposed to be a sanctuary.
Yeah, I know, really. Literally, it's in the name of the place. Like, we all thought Harambe was bad. Harambe was a hero. Like, Koko was the real villain.
Did Koko ever have any babies?
I think Koko did have a daughter. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I think Koko did have a daughter. I don't know if the daughter speaks ASL. I would imagine that the daughter does. I would think Koko would teach the baby gorilla ASL. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I didn't look that deep into it. But yeah. I'm gonna write a bit about this though, so I'm gonna have to like do a little bit of research.
How disappointing too if they didn't do like artificial insemination, if they made her have a sex with somebody who didn't have boobies, that had to have been so disappointing.
Yeah. Well, and also I think it had to be disappointing on a lot of levels for Koko because like. Being able to communicate, I'm sure humans had communicated to her that she is smarter than most gorillas because she can communicate with us. And so to be with a gorilla that doesn't know sign language, she has to be aware that that's a step down for her, you know? So like not only do you not have titties, but you're also dumber than me. You're just a dumb ape.
How long does gorilla sex last?
Oh, I don't know. I would imagine not long. I don't think any animal sex lasts that long.
Well, sometimes when growing up, we would have our dogs, and they would get stuck to each other.
Yeah.
And that lasted a long time.
Cats do that too.
Oh.
But cats like they have sex weird. Like they don't get on like cats are kind of like butt to butt when they're like having sex. So when they get stuck, they're like kind of like stuck ass to ass, and they're trying to like break away from each other, but they can't.
That's how our dogs would look after, because he would
spin around and try to get away. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My mom, we had cousins over. She's like, it's like cat dog. They're like cat dog. Yeah, but I wonder, do you think that happens with gorillas too?
I don't know. I mean, I think we can look at ourselves to answer that, right? Because we share 98% DNA. So do we get stuck? I mean, I've never gotten stuck. So I don't know. I would have to assume that gorillas don't get stuck. Also, like I started watching this kid's TikTok. He's like, I don't know if he's like an actual like
kid.
Well, I mean, not kid, but you know, I'm 43. If you're not like in your 30s, you're a kid. So I was watching this man's TikTok page, and I don't know if he's like an actual like zoologist or some other kind of like animal biologist or whatever, but he's just very knowledgeable on this kind of stuff. So I started watching his channel, but because I started watching his channel, other channels that TikTok thinks are similar have been creeping into my algorithm. So I've been seeing way more monkey dick than I like would like to see. And I don't think gorillas would get stuck because their penises are very skinny.
Oh.
They're like very skinny and small. They're like literally like a finger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's not a lot to work with.
No, it's not. But like I can't see this getting stuck in anything, you know?
A finger trap.
Yeah, but these gorillas are not in China.
Maybe Koko keeps it tight. I don't know. Or kept it tight. R.I.P.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to do some research.
You should look at dolphin ones. Those are weird.
Well, dolphins are like vicious.
Yeah, they are.
Like people think dolphins are dolphins are assholes.
Yeah.
They're like not nice.
They will be sexually aggressive.
Yeah.
With anything and anyone.
Yeah. Most orca are like kind of aggressive. Like they do tend to stay out of the way, but if you get into their territory, it's like game on, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, have you seen those whales that started attacking boats?
Yeah.
The killer whales. So they found out that that's like a different strain of killer whale than the ones that we know. Because the ones that we know usually run in packs of like no more than like half a dozen to a dozen. And they usually hang out closer to the surface. But these particular whales that have been attacking these ships form like giant like packs. They're like 20, 30 whales. And they tend to hang out like deeper down in the ocean.
What?
Yeah, it's like a totally new species of killer whale that we didn't know about before.
Do you think they've adapted?
I don't know. I don't know where they've been all this time. I would assume that maybe like two different, because I think there's like three, not including this new one, but I think there's like three different species, like main species of killer whale. So it's very possible that maybe like two whales from the opposite species mated and made these whales, and then these whales just kept mating and mating and mating. Like that's possible.
I am intrigued. I'm gonna be Googling so much after this.
And welcome to the Joe Rogan experience.
I'm just happy. I love seeing the super yachts get taken down. That is, they've been Luigiing before.
But yeah, I mean, this is all stuff that I like picked up from the TikTok page that I was
I
talking
hope
about.
it gets taken.
I wish I could remember the name of the page. I can't. I think it's like, oh shit, I can't remember. It's a play on National Geographic. It's like the TikTok, like the screen name, the @name or whatever is like a play on National Geographic. I think. I can't remember the name. I wish I could remember. I would. Not that we need to plug them. Like they've got like hundreds of thousands of followers. I'm sure you just watching this clip is probably going to get them into your algorithm.
I hope TikTok gets taken down.
I don't.
It's the elder in me that it's like, no, I know that Facebook and Instagram are just as bad data collection wise, but I don't want to have to use another tool.
Honestly, I would rather Instagram and Twitter get taken down because then that's two that I know I don't have to use ever again. And then I can only focus on like TikTok or like Blue Sky or something. And I know people are like shitting on Blue Sky, but you know what? God damn it. It's pleasant right now. It is a pleasant place to be right now. I'm sure it'll probably change in the next couple of years. But right now, it's like what Twitter was when Twitter started. It's just pleasant. You know, it's nice. It's a nice place to be.
I should go on it more. I created an account, but
yeah, when I started the account like a couple months ago, like before, like when you still had to have an invite. And I was like, I'm going to build this one up. This is the one that I'm going to focus on. And I never did. I go on like once a week and I'm like, okay. And then I move on. But I should actually try to build that one because right now
is the time to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm envious of everyone who joined TikTok pre-COVID.
Yeah, same. But also, I don't know. I have like a weird thing with like doing front facing video.
Yeah.
You know, I feel so uncomfortable.
I also feel narcissistic being
exactly.
like, everyone wants to see this.
Exactly. You know, like I'm okay with like pictures and I'm okay with like this, but like when I'm holding my phone right here and I'm like just talking to my phone, I feel so weird. Like I feel like such an idiot.
Yeah. Well, even with this, I can forget that we're recording it and I'm just like having a conversation with you. And if people watch it, they watch it. But like, yeah. I'm not being vulnerable and being like,
yeah, like I mean, I can see my nose hair right here, you know, like I don't know. It's like you said, I feel narcissistic doing that, you know. I don't know. I've never been able to cross that bridge into just being okay with talking to my phone like that, you know. And I don't know. The last few weeks I've had a few moments where I was like, should I do? Oh, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, I can't talk myself into it. Maybe someday it'll wash over me the comfort to do that. But
maybe someday when jobs don't exist anymore and the only way you can make any kind of money is hopefully something goes viral.
Yeah. How depressing is that? And to see some people who did make it their thing. Yeah. But like talking to them off stage and how hyper fixated they are on their follower counts. Yeah. And watching the little graph. Yeah. And having to be like, what should my next video be? Like, that's not a way to live.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Cause like that is literally your life now. Like it's people are like, they look at people who have success doing that and all they see is the video and they're like, oh, it's easy. You just talk to the camera. It's like, yeah, but like they don't just do that in like one take. You know, like one 1 minute video probably took them about 45 minutes to do because like you got to nail it, you know, and like this idea that they're just nailing it on the first try is crazy. They're doing it and they're like, oh no, I said that weird. And then they do it again and they're like, oh no, now I said this weird. And they just like, you keep doing it over and over and over until you get it, you know?
Yeah. I'm excited for all the legislation in terms of like parents monetizing their children. All of those parent TikToks. Yeah. So they're going to have to put like a certain percentage away for when the kid turns into an adult. Yeah. And then there's something about where if the kid wants it taken down, eventually it has to come down. Yeah. But
Yeah, I mean, there definitely needs to be some regulation to all of it because it's crazy. It's insane that we just put phones in like 7-year-olds' hands, and we're just like, "Here's your life."
Yeah.
That's insane to me. I think about that a lot, and I think about like if I had kids, they would just have flip phones. Like,
Same.
I'm not gonna get you an
Y'all get jitterbugs.
Yeah, you get a flip phone. Maybe I'll get you a tablet. But like that tablet's gonna be like super regulated. Like I'm gonna block everything.
Yeah, because I have some friends who are like, oh, I gave my kids cell phones because they need to get me life's, like crazy. I want them to be able to reach me. Yeah, flip phones.
Flip phone does that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I had, I wouldn't get them like iPhone. That's I don't know. That's like the crazy thing. Like I don't want to get into like, telling people how to be parents, but like, I think I like, just because a kid wants something doesn't mean the kid should have that thing. Like you can say no.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I can't not. Well, now we've gone too far and I can't. Well, but like you let that happen though.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel
if you just stood strong from the beginning, your kid wouldn't freak out now when you tell them no. Like I had to go and like get my own job and then like lie about how much money I was making to put a little bit of money aside so that I could finally buy myself a PlayStation because my parents would not buy me a PlayStation.
Yeah, I think that this generation of kids who are kids right now are going to be stricter parents.
I think so.
And
I think, yeah. I mean, I think I see it. I see it a lot in even like younger Gen Z kids. I think they understand the problems that the environment we've created are causing. And I see a lot of like younger Gen Z kids pulling back now. So I would imagine the generation after them, Gen Alpha, is going to maybe even take that a step further,
Yeah. I they're some of the older Gen Alpha and then younger Gen Z. I've seen making the deliberate conscious decision to switch to either flip phones or getting like dumb phone apps put on their phone, which is smart. It's way more self-control than I have for myself.
Yeah. Well, and also like I know like I was there for the beginning of the internet. So we didn't know what the hell was going on. We're just like, oh, I can see titties anytime I want. Cool. 3 hours later, I got titties. So like, we didn't know what we were getting into. We just it was just this new thing, and we were like, oh, like I can just do whatever I want. Like I can download music for free. Yeah, cool. I want that. And so we were like deep into the wilderness before we were like, oh wait, this was a mistake. Like we got so far into it that it was like too late to go back now. We're just like, well, we're here, we have to just deal with this now. We're like, Gen Z, they could see the like forest from the trees at that point. Like everything had already gone wrong and they could see all of it. They saw the whole picture. So I think they're gonna like be a lot more discriminating with their use of the internet, and hopefully the generation after them, because like we are just too far gone.
Yeah, I don't envy parents nowadays.
Yeah, no.
But how was your week?
It was fine.
You had your holiday party too.
I had my holiday party. It was at a it's like a newer bar in Corktown. It's called a Corktown Tap House. It's like one of those places that they've like automated everything. So like the only people working there are people like bussers.
How do you like it?
Not very much. It's like, so you get there and you swipe your card and they give you a wristband, and they tie the wristband to your card after you've swiped it. And so you just go, and they've got like, I don't know, like 50 taps of different types of beers. And you just go up and you hold your wristband up to the sensor, and then it activates the tap, and then you put your glass under and you pour yourself, and it charges you for the amount of ounces that you pour. And that's just how you do every drink while you're there. So there's no bartender. You're just your own bartender. And I'm just like, I need that feeling of being ignored when I'm trying to get another drink, you know? Like I need to be like, I need 3 people who walked up to the bar after me to get a drink before me for me to feel like I'm somewhere, you know? Like the fact that I can just walk up and get my drink, it's like, this is not fulfilling at all.
Was there enough taps where everyone could quickly get a drink?
Oh yeah, I mean the taps were wide open. There were no lines for any of the taps. You just walk right up, get what you want, and you walk away.
Do you think this will become the norm at bars?
I think so, probably. I mean, obviously there's going to be holes. There's still be holes in the wall. Those will never go away. But any sort of like new bar in like a hip neighborhood, this is going to be the neighborhood bar, you know. And like they had like darts. The darts were also fully automated. Like it was literally just a cork board, and there's a projector that projects the dartboard, and then it can sense where the darts hit and keep the score for you. So like when you're not playing darts, the projector goes off, and all it is just a plain cork board on the wall.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't know. That was fine. Not a huge like dart person anyway, so it's not like I play darts that much. But like, I mean, it's like scary because it's like, how do you know where this is hitting? You're just a projector. You know? And then they had like duck bowling lanes, duck bowling lanes with like the small pins and like the small balls, and they're like on the strings or whatever. So they had that as well. They had like 4 lanes of that. So like, I mean, you know, that stuff, I mean, it's fun, but then like you walk away from it and you're just like, the only people that I saw working were just walking around picking up empty glasses.
Oh, wow.
And untangling the duck bowling pins if they ever got tangled.
Do you think that they are being paid well?
Probably not.
That sucks. Because I would hope that like the business owners would put the extra money into actually paying
Why
a
would
good
they do
wage.
That? They could just take the extra money into paying themselves. That's why you cut employees so you can make more money.
That's so depressingly true.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't want machines to know that I have bad aim. I want them to be scared of me.
The robot uprising happens and you're standing there with like a rock and they're just confidently walking towards you and they're just like, go ahead, throw it, you're gonna miss.
Do you think they would want to kill me first, or do you think they'll be like, you can leave her, she's not a threat,
she's harmless, get the strong ones first? Here, we'll stand still for you.
Oh, I could have my own training montage.
You become like the Rocky of the robot apocalypse. There's the robot you go against at the end looks like Ivan Drago. It's just a robot with like a blonde like crew cut. It's like the Terminator robot, but with like a blonde, like shaved side, you know. Red boxing trunks.
Oh, I'm gonna be toast in this.
You'll be toasted by a toaster. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, robots. I know that's a derogatory term. I watched the entire Battlestar Galactica series. I should know better.
How did you do at the darts?
I'm okay at darts. I'm not like great at darts. I'm decent at bowling. Like we used to bowl in the league, so I'm like an okay bowler. Like I'm very inconsistent as a bowler. Like my high score I think is like a 267.
That's good.
But then like in that exact same like 3-frame game, I also bowled a 97. So I'm like I'm capable of bowling really well, but then like I will just completely shit the bed on the next round.
Oh, are you going to be a threat to the robots?
I don't think anybody's really going to be a threat to the robots. Coincidentally, I think smaller numbers will be a threat to the robots because people will actually be able to organize when there's smaller numbers. I don't think we're going to be able to organize if we outnumber the robots. I think too many people are going to want to be the hero, and they're not going to listen to other people who have actually good plans, which is, I think, kind of what happens now, right? Like, with all these like protests. I mean, obviously there are a lot of good protests, but I feel like there are also a lot of protests where the person that's trying to like organize and lead the protest just wants like likes on social media.
Yeah. That's what it feels like now.
Yeah. And like that person is usually pretty like incompetent and is not serious about organizing anything or making anything better. Like they just want to be like the star of the uprising.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's so many that I saw online that are like, we want to meet with so-and-so. We want to meet with so-and-so. And then so-and-so's like, okay, let's meet. And they're like, we need a couple days.
Yeah.
And it's like, you wanted to meet for so long. You didn't have something prepared.
Yeah. So yeah, I think those people are going to have to get weeded out before we stand any kind of chance against the robots. Which unfortunately means a lot of good people will also be weeded out, but like the bad people need to go before like the remaining good people can actually be effective.
Oh, we have a long road ahead of us, Alex. I think I'll be weeded out, and unfortunately,
I'm 43 with 2 bad knees. I'm gonna be one of the first people that goes. Yeah, I don't know. It's just funny listening to like political discourse because everybody on the left, I feel like, wants like this sweeping change. They just like want to like Thanos cancel all the bad stuff, and like we're just in a good functioning society. And it's like, that's not how this is going to work. Like it took 70 years for us to get here. It took 70 years of extreme right-wing groups undermining everything that, FDR laid as a foundation for how to build in the future. And listen, I'm not like a super political person, and I understand that FDR had problems. What are those problems? I don't know, because I don't read about this shit. I hear people who do read about this shit, and they all acknowledge, yes, there were bad things with what he was also doing, but like things were unequivocally way, way better than they are right now, and the, right-wing groups wouldn't have been organizing so hard to undermine what he was doing if it was truly, truly that bad. Like it was bad for rich people. That's why they did it. That's why they undid all of that, because it was bad for rich people, not bad for poor people. I mean, it was bad for like poor people, but like it wasn't bad for like middle class people, which, we would have to address what was bad for poor people. Like, I'm not saying you ignore that and just keep pushing forward, but a larger chunk of the population was better off back then, which would have enabled us to address the remaining problems had we kept staying on that course.
Do you think we can get back to there?
I think we can.
It'll just take a long time.
That's my point, is like it's not going to happen in a year or 5 years or 10 years. It's going to take 70 years. Like it's going to be incremental moves back to the place that we need to be. But nobody is like prepared for that. Like everybody wants it to happen tomorrow. And I understand why, but that's just not realistically how it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And just throwing your hands up at the idea that you can't just wave a magic wand and fix everything is maybe like worse than just accepting that there's still going to be a lot of suffering for a long time, but we can at least make it less and less every year.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks to say that because it sucks that people suffer, but like if you take those small steps right now, in 70 years, you're going to be in a much better place. And it may not take 70 years because this is something that is actually good, that you won't have to like suppress things on this path. You know, on the right-wing path that got us here, they had to do a lot of like backdoor things, like hide things, run a lot of propaganda. That's why it took so long. When something is just naturally good, it starts slow, but then it just like turns into a wave at some point, you know? Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
We have a very political podcast.
Yeah. No, I do not read anything. I watch like 3 YouTube videos a day about things like this, and that is like the extent of the politics I take in.
I go to a ton of news stations and I listen to all of NPR's like daily news stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like I do put myself in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
So I don't really branch out too much.
Yeah.
But it's depressing and it gets to be a lot. It's weird times ahead of us.
Yeah, but I don't know, whatever. It sucks.
Yeah, it does. And it's the very selfish part of me is like, what's going to happen to comedy if the world is on fire?
The optimistic side of me is like, I hope comedy doesn't exist anymore after this. Like, I hope I don't have to do this shit anymore.
It's the only thing I ever felt decent at. I am toast if I have no skills.
Yeah.
No marketable skills that would get me through.
I mean, I'm like a decent coder. I just hate coding. Like I'm like pretty good at it. I just hate doing it. Like I've been trying to make myself a website for like 6 months now, and I just cannot motivate myself to finish it. Like I'm so close. I got really, really close multiple times. And then I looked at everything I did and I was like, I don't like this. I can do it better. And I started completely over.
That's you being a perfectionist. That is.
Well, but now I'm like very close to being done with it. And it is actually like I've done it in a way that I do actually like now. But I'm just like having so much trouble motivating myself to just finish the last few things that I need to finish to make this website like a reality.
How about 2025? Are you gonna get to?
Hopefully, we'll cross our fingers.
Your ropes will be going up just as the grid is going down.
Yeah. I'll be like, and it's live. But yeah, I don't know.
What dates do you have coming up? What would you put on there if you?
What would I put on there? Well, Comedy Rumble's going to have already happened when this goes up. Let me see. I gotta look at my phone. I forgot to turn the timer on, but I think we're good on time. Where is my calendar app? This is great podcasting here right now.
It is.
I got Comedy Rumble, which will have already happened. January 3rd, I'm doing a set at Spread Art. That is Diana Graham, friend of the show, Diana Graham, organized a comedy show at Spread Art to benefit the mutual aid that they run.
That's awesome.
So that should be a fun show. I'm gonna have to find somewhere to put ticket links up for all this stuff because like I have nowhere to send people right now. Smoke Show Comedy Show January 9th. That will be also Diana Graham closing that show, so that'll be fun.
And another friend of the show.
Friend, like partner of the show. Yours truly, Sam Rager, will be doing a set.
Thank you. And Tommy Cook.
That's right. Tommy Cook, our biggest contributor. We're not gonna, you know what? We're not going to call people fans. I think that's like degrading.
Yeah, no,
we're all contributors.
We're
all contributors to the show. And then the next thing that would probably be relevant would be, as far as like date wise, not like the show is like, oh, I guess it's going to be a good show. I mean, like close enough for me to promote relevant. It's going to be the Hive North, on January 16th. That's in Sheboygan, Michigan. Which I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a fun show.
Yeah. I just, the combination of weed and mead is intriguing. If I drank still, that would.
Yeah, Hive North, it is weed infused mead is what they sell, which kind of scares me a little bit.
Santiago wants to try it.
I'm going to try it. I might have to like stay overnight though. Or John's going to have to drive. John, friend of the show, John Mahar, contributor to the show, John Mahar, is going to be opening for me that night. So
it's going to be good. I miss John so much.
Yeah. He's kind of trying to get back on the old horse in 2025.
Yay, for real?
Yeah.
That makes me so happy because he's super funny.
Yeah, no, John is, I mean, he was one of the first comics like I mean, of course you as well. But there's like a group of comics that like when I started, I just sort of like gravitated and latched on to them, and I feel, you know, the reciprocation there, like we all just kind of like naturally came together because like we were like the funny ones. we were the ones that were like good at the open mics. and like John's one of the first ones when I started, you know.
Yeah. Oh, you guys were like brothers so much. Like when I first started dating Santiago, the first show that I brought him to, you and John were there. And so was Alex Price and then KJ. And he's like, all of them approached me and told me that if I hurt you.
I mean, the scariest one would be Alex Price. I mean, he's a giant, like a literal giant. Contributor to the show, Alex Price. How about you? What do you have going on?
I am doing 51st Strokes at the Arc in Ann Arbor, January 2nd. It's the least amount of time that I think that we've had to write, but it's exciting. I think it's going to be. It's going to push me too.
It's always a fun show.
Yeah, Smoke Show as well. January 6th? 9th. Yep. January 9th.
Nope. January 6th is a holy day.
You're such a good Eastern European.
Oh, no, I'm talking about storming the Capitol. January 7th is Greek Orthodox Christmas.
My mom would be so disappointed. She's like, you don't know when Epiphany is, Sam? 12 days after Christmas, Mom. It's 12 days after Christmas. So yeah, and then Max. I'm doing Max in Lansing.
Okay. And when was the recording?
The album recording that we are both going to be there is January 25th, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. at the Independent.
All right. That's where we're going to be in the next few weeks or month or whatever this time that doesn't exist is going to be.
Yeah, if the world is still standing, that's where we'll be.
Yeah, it'll still be standing by January 25th. I don't know about February 1st, but
I did think about that. I was like, it's really silly that I'm trying to record this and then everything is going to go haywire.
All right. Well, that's our show this week. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.